A little bit from the last post that Sophie wrote, which was in a really big nutshell, which was trying to talk about all of the things that they encountered on their journey. Max Taylor and I were in the kitchen earlier writing a song together that was, the chorus of which was, "We really miss you, we're glad you're home, you left in an RV, we didn't think you'd make it back, we thought it would break down, and it didn't until it did, but instead of singing that, I'm going to read." So it begins this way. "We puttered to a Walmart to sleep that night, and the next day we brought the RV to the transmission man, who makes kaleidoscopes in his spare time and who, along with his wife, truly wanted to help us. After hours of tinkering and driving it around, he was pretty sure it was bust. They offered us quotes on what it would cost to rebuild the transmission, which was more than we paid for the entire RV, and which would mean sticking around Flagstaff for a week or so without a place to live, though they said we could sleep in the RV in the garage at night. That night, we decided to splurge, stay at a motel. We ordered a pizza and watched TV. The next day was Thanksgiving. In the morning, we puttered over to the Walmart, read, wrote, made stovetop stuffing, and went for a nice long walk. We watched as Black Friday shoppers descended on Walmart, filling every last parking space, standing in lines, waiting for sales to begin at 8 o'clock. While getting ready for bed, we smelled burning plastic. My headache was immediate. It took us 10, 15, 20 minutes to discover the hot battery. We slept in the motel again, more television, a shower 2 days in a row. Arlo jumped from bed to bed like a kid. The next morning, Max informed the venues in Texas, New Orleans, and Louisville that we wouldn't be able to make it to the gigs. I got stress ties on my hands and interviewed people over the phone for magazine stories. We stayed and worked in the room until the very last minute of our already late checkout, then went to Whole Foods to eat some vegetables and discuss our options. That evening, we went to the Toyota dealership and drove a Prius around. After the RV, it seemed like a joke. It was so nice. We started to get excited about the prospect of going home to our parents, but we pretended that we weren't in a rush to leave Flagstaff, as though we weren't living in a Walmart in a broken RV. We went back the next day and played tough some more. In the end, they bought the RV off of us, broken transmission and all, for just about what we paid for it. Over the course of 6 hours, we negotiated for an impressive interest rate, if I do say so myself, and I do, because I'm really proud of myself. Skimmed the price off the car down to well below blue book value and drove off that evening with a car and another monthly payment to make when we get back to Portland. I was defeated and elated at once. After 4 months of living in the RV, it took us just a couple hours, near a couple of dumpsters behind a Save-A-Lot, to empty and clean it out. Everything we wanted to keep fit in the Prius. That night, we slept in the RV for the last time. We slept terribly. I spent most of the night reading in the light of the streetlights, pouring greenish through the curtains and anxiously awaiting the morning and the next big thing. We woke up before dawn, dropped the RV keys off at the dealership, took a photograph and one last look at Coach. Then we drove away with Arlo in the Prius. We were headed for the Grand Canyon. We would stop there, and then we wouldn't stop until we couldn't stand to drive anymore. That's how we feel about Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas. I've got the states jumbled up in the days. I know this. We made it back to Chautauqua County, and so far, being home with our families has been an entirely different sort of joy and a challenge. Hard, easy, good, bad, all of it. Yay.